Working on X-Men was a very powerful experience.
On principle, I can't negotiate with these people.
Well, then you know what needs to be done.
It's one of the few times I've worked with green screen. You're looking at something and you're told what's happening, but the thing is not there. The director gives you the context, what happened before and what's going to happen after. So you're really kind of, using your imagination, not only in terms of your character, etc., but what you're actually dealing with in terms of the reality of the moment. None of us had scripts. We just had our lines. And so a lot that was dependent upon the director and him giving you information. Brett Ratner's a wonderful director, good people, and so he was able to give us everything we needed to make it what you see now on the screen. What really, I think, gets my creative juice going is working on something that I relate to or something I believe in, no matter what genre it is, but if it's well written, it's something that is inspirational on some level, and therefore my creative juice is start to flow, and I become involved in it in a way that is compelling for me. Cover is a passion project, I guess you could say. It was basically about the AIDS crisis in our nation, and more importantly about the down low experience. These are down low men, or men who have wives or girlfriends and are sleeping with other men, many times unprotectedly, and sometimes bringing the HIV virus back to their families or their wives or their girlfriends or whatever. And as I'm working on the project, around 7 or 8 months in, my goddaughter comes to the family and says that she's just been, diagnosed HIV, and discovered that the man she was married to for 12 years was under DL and brought the virus to her. And they have a son. My first reaction, I think, was anger and a lot of other things, but as a filmmaker, it more, I think, increasingly impelled me to make this movie and to try to save lives and to do something important. The movie addresses and deals with is fundamentally, we're asking men who are under DL to please, if you're sleeping with my sister or my daughter, tell them what you're doing so they have an option of staying or leaving. Now, what's going to blow your mind is that millions of women decide to stay. The second message of the movie is, if these men are going to have the courage to come out and say that to their women and to society, they're not going to come out to a crucifixion. If a guy says, okay, I'm doing this, then we have no right to throw stones and crucify that person. We should celebrate the fact that he came out and told my daughter, my sister, I'm giving you an option of staying or leaving. And I think we have to respect that. I know in my life when I was a young man, elementary school, high school, the people who saved my life from drugs, which I was involved in at one time, and other things, were teachers who believed in me. I have no idea why they believed in me. I have no idea why they decided to help me, but thank holy God that they did. They saw something I didn't even see. And so I feel because of those things that those people did for me, I have an obligation to pass that gift on to somebody else. Educating Young Minds is probably my most passionate project. It's a nonprofit, tax-exempt organization headed by a wonderful lady, Angelis Eccles. These are kids who are dyslexic, attention deficit, not educable according to the school system sometimes, drugs and unmentionable types of adversity that these young people have to face in terms of trying to get an education. So Ms. Eccles put this entity together, and instead of 35 people in the class, we have like 5 or 6 or 7 people in the class per teacher. These kids, you look in their faces and you see our future. They're going to Syracuse University, other major universities, Berkeley, and they're graduating with honors, not just going to school and getting out. Educating Young Minds is a very, very, very vital part of my existence. I feel better about myself because I'm doing this. And I think people who contribute to young people on any level can be proud of that contribution, because I think it manifests itself in ways we can't even imagine. I made a film called A Rage in Harlem, and Harvey Weinstein, the producer, asked me who would I love to have, score my movie. I said, hey, Elmer Bernstein, why not? Elmer Bernstein, great fan of his for years. So I was, okay. So I thought he was just joking. So he sends the film to Elmer Bernstein in London. A couple weeks pass. I get a call in my office, and my secretary assistant says, there's somebody on the phone called Elmer Bernstein. I say, yeah, sure, it's Harvey Weinstein trying to, pull my chain. I said, Harvey, come on, what's going on? He says, hello, it's Elmer Bernstein. He called me personally. And he said he saw my film and he loved it. And he would have these ideas for a scene, and he'd get 4 or 5 ideas together, and he'd invite me over, and he had this piano in the living room. And I sit next to him on the bench. He sit here, and I sit next to him. He said, Bill, what do you think about this? And he just put the thing on the video up on the screen, and he'd play the score for that scene on the piano. It was a life-changing, wonderful experience, not because he's Elmer Bernstein, but because of the human being he was. He was an exceptional person. I mean, in every level you could possibly think. Generous of heart, a perfectionist, passionate. He was a teacher in many ways, and I still love him very much.